just like to welcome Tim Jones from Town Juniors, who nominated Sue Bonnington for the FA Community Awards 2014 last year. Sue was the National Volunteer of the Year, did fantastic. I'd just like to welcome both today to the Derbyshire FA. Tim, I've come to you first. Just want to really just find out really, how did you know about the Community Awards, the FA Community Awards?
Well, I get regular emails, and so does Sue from the FA, from yourselves about the awards, and it's I'm a regular visitor to the website, and it's quite well publicised on the website. So that's how I initially heard, and we have seen it in previous years, but I've never nominated. So this year decided to make an exception and stick one in.
And what made you think, right, okay, I want to nominate Sue? What was it that kind of obviously put the pen to paper, so to speak?
I think when you stop and think about it, about the work that not just Sue but lots of people put into grassroots football, I think it's important that they are recognised or at least nominated for these things. Although it was easy to nominate, you do have to give it some thought. But when people have put in the years that Sue's put in, I think it's up to people like myself to just go a little bit further to say, look, they need to be recognised. So that's why I put the nomination in.
Now, did it feel for you, Sue, when you found out?
I didn't actually tell
No, he didn't tell me. I think it was when you phoned me, that was the first I knew, so I was quite surprised.
Did you have a bit of a word and say what?
I did straight away. I think I emailed you, didn't I? Or phoned you.
Yeah, what's all this about?
Yeah.
do you know anything about this?
Yeah.
With the content?
Yeah.
And in terms of the actual nomination form itself, obviously it's online. Obviously people can access it again this year through the FA website. Was it an easy process for you, Tim?
The process is really easy. Yeah. I mean, you have to be. It's only 300 words, and Sue does ever such a lot, and you have to get as much in as possible. And you do have to give it some thought, but the actual form and the accessing of the form is ever so easy. It doesn't take long at all.
Okay, Sue, in terms of your involvement in football then, when did you first, if you go right away back, when did you first get involved in football, and why, the reasons why?
Well, I've got two sons. I started when it was the youngest, when he was under 9, and he's 28 now, and my eldest 30. So the youngest one started first, then the other one started the year after. So really it was just, my husband used to take me miles out and I'm having nothing to do with that. And then he started work on a Saturday morning, so I got no choice, and I just got more and more involved. So we started in the juniors, I think, in 1997, and that's when I was secretary. We started a splinter club, Heaney Club, and that's when I started being secretary.
So when the boys left, what made you carry on then? Because obviously...
I mean, they both left for under 16s, but I think it was just the people I was involved with, and I just enjoyed it so much. And they were friends as well, so... and I just enjoyed doing it, so I just carried on, really. It is the people that you're working with, the people, that's what does it, not always. I mean, obviously you do it for the kids, but there is a lot of work, and it's the social life you get from it as well. And as I say, you've got on with everybody, and I've had my ups and downs with it since, but then it seems to pick itself up. You get new people involved, and then I think the last 3 or 4 years again, particularly, it's picked up again. And so when I keep saying that's it, no more, something happens, and then I carry on here.
What about in terms of the FA Community Awards? Did you know much about them?
Yeah, I mean, same as Tim, really. Obviously, I'd seen, and I think, thinking back, I think we once did nominate the club when they first started. But we didn't really get anywhere, so I just never even thought about it again. So yeah, as I say, I knew about it, but that's as far as it went. We'd never really talked about it as a club.
So it must have been great to be nominated locally, obviously,
Yeah.
for Derbyshire, but then
Yeah.
what did it mean, obviously going on to the region and then obviously national? What?
If I'm perfectly honest, I don't think any of it sunk in. I can remember being at the presentation, the Derby one,
Yeah.
and it was like, I don't know, it just seemed to, I don't think it was till it actually came to the national, and on the day that I thought, oh my God, you know, and I really realised what, you know, how big an achievement it was, I suppose. But
I suppose a question for both of you then, with obviously Sue winning the award last year, has it benefited the club, and if so, you know, what's kind of...
I think from my point of view, we had our presentation evening in June, didn't we? And which was before you won the national award. You just won the regional award, I think. And so we were able to tell not just the coaches in the club, but all the players and all the parents who were a little bit taken aback and shocked by it, because although we try and communicate with everybody within the club, it's not easy. We've got 10, 12 teams and sections, so there's a lot of people to try and communicate with, and it did give everybody a little bit of a lift, and there's a lot of people nodding and in agreement that Sue was a worthy winner. So yes, it's lifted the profile of the club within our community, and within our within Hena and the surrounding areas where we draw our players from, and I think it just did give everybody a little bit of put a smile on everybody's face. It was good.
I think obviously from our point of view, it's great that a volunteer from Derbyshire has been recognised nationally. I suppose for this year, Sue, can you give kind of people a flavour in terms of the actual national award ceremony, you know, what happened on the day, you know, well, I suppose in the build up to the day, and then obviously what happened in the presentation, just to give them an idea of what happened.
Before you got drunk.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't do that.
Yeah, I think the actual day, it was just like, as I say, it's sent to pass in a will, and then the day, and I stayed over that night, and the next day when I said I went back to work the day after, and I think it was then that it hit me, and I just couldn't do anything all day. It just hit me how big it had all been and how fantastic it had been, and it was a fantastic day. To go and see people that you see on the telly, and the whole how it was.
Can you remember like who you met on the day?
No, not really.
Autographs? Can't remember.
Not really. I can remember. You've had to remind me, Pat Jennett. I remember him on the day, but it was everything, and just the shirt as well in the frame, just things that you just didn't expect.
Because Sir Jeff Hurst presented the award.
That's right. Yes, and I think probably the best bit was actually out on the pitch at half time.
Yeah.
That was just like amazing.
Your name as well going around.
Yeah, it was just amazing. It really was. Yeah. I think that's when it hit home.
So in terms of the highlight then, Sue, what if you could? I know obviously winning the county and then the regional and then national. If you could pick kind of one highlight, what would it be?
I think there was two really. I mean, the first, I'll be honest now, is when I first read Tim's nomination. That got to me. That completely bowled me over. That was the first, and then the second was the actual day, and I say going out on the pitch. Definitely, it's a chance in a lifetime. Definitely.
And what about for you, Tim? Obviously, the person that nominated Sue. What tips would you give to people out there when obviously they're going ahead and putting the nomination in? What would you say to them?
I think the first thing, you need to give it some thought, because there are a lot of volunteers out there, and if you're convinced that the person that you want to nominate is worthy of nomination, then do it. Give it some thought, because sometimes you have to think about what does Sue do? Well, there's lots and lots and lots and lots of things that help our club run smoothly, and as I put in the nomination, without Sue our club wouldn't run. Simple as that. Not it wouldn't run as smoothly as it does. It just wouldn't run. It wouldn't exist. So, and just do it. If you've got somebody who you think is worthy, don't put it off. do it. I nearly did it the year before, and we didn't do it. And I'm so glad that I took some time and put the nomination in, because she was a worthy winner, and I think that the reaction from Sue after she'd, you know, the look on her face, bless her, she had a smile on her face for weeks and weeks, and it was because there are, as we've said, there's lots and lots of grassroots volunteers out there, and people need to be recognised. Somebody's got to win it, and why not Sue Bonnington? I have told her she's not going to win it again, though. That's it. You only get one go.
Yeah.
And from your point of view, Sue, obviously going through the process, I mean, what would you say? What would your message be to people out there in Derbyshire and encouraging them to nominate?
I think when I first spoke to you, when I knew I'd won, it was like, oh, what have you done that for? Because I don't like particularly being in the limelight or anything, having a photograph taken, anything like that. And I can honestly say I've never had my photo taken so much in all my life. And I also think you never think that you're going to go any further because there's so many other people in the mix, and nationally you just think, but yeah, I mean, you should do it. As being a recipient, it is nice to feel appreciated and to know that it does make it all worthwhile sometimes, just to know that people do appreciate what you do. So, you know, sometimes lost me rag, and you know, because you do think everybody's just, you know, basically takes you for granted. So it is nice, you know, when you know that's not the case. And it is a club thing, you know, Tim nominated, but, you know, everyone in the club was really supportive with it. And so that's good. And I think it has pulled us all together again as well. So, yeah, it's worth doing it for the club, I think, as well as the individual.
And is there anything you could suggest that maybe we could encourage more people? I mean, obviously, last year, Derbyshire got the most nominations out of the whole country, which was fantastic, and you know, we were delighted with that. But you know, we still want to encourage more people. I mean, is there any other anything that you could suggest to improve that or encourage people to come forward?
Well, you're not doing a bad job. Let's be right. If Derbyshire have more nominations than any other county FA, then surely something's doing right. So more of the same, really, and make sure that you get it to the right people, because not everybody goes on the website. People do visit, but you've got quite a big email distribution list. So it's just make sure people realise that and this will help, and say, look, this is what happened with Sue when we nominated her. And you know, how hard did I work? Well, I had to give it some thought, but I did 300 words, and that was it. I didn't actually have to do anything else. So, you know, it's an easy process.
I think that's, if you think back, why haven't we done it? Why didn't we do it ever before? Maybe because you think it's going to be too much work, and you never think you're going to win.
Yeah.
So you think, why bother or go to the tour? It just takes one person, really, I suppose, to take the lead and decide to do it and take it on board.
So what next? I suppose going back to the club, Fianna Town Juniors, what's the priority for the club?
Well, Sue thinks she's the Champions League of volunteering.
No,
Can you be a European?
Yeah, it's a European one.
So in terms of the club then, for the next year?
For the next one, we've sort of, in the last couple of years, we've tied in with Fianna Town Juniors. That's why we used to be Fianna Juniors. So with the senior team, definitely.
Got girls team as well now.
Community status. We were one of the first development club in the, and now we're one of only a few. There's not many, because everybody's community status, and we just need to get our act together, because I think we've got all the requirements. We've got the girls section, we've got senior section, we've got teams galore. So we're about there, aren't we? I think so. That's for us. Our priority, I think, for 2015-16 is to get that community status and the benefits that will bring.
That's great. Okay, thank you very much for your time today.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in. Thank you.